So this video is going to take a little bit of a closer look at navigating within 3D space and the way in which we can be a touch more specific about what we're focusing on and some of the shortcuts that we can use. Now we've got a number of pens here just within the center, and what I'm going to do is just move in and move around as if I want to see and check out my scene, and after a while the position of my tumbling, so the central point at which I'm focusing at, becomes off center. Say for example I now want to look at this pen. If I move over here, trying to rotate around a specific point becomes a little bit harder. So what I can do is actually just select the object that I want to focus on and then hit F. And by doing that, I'm just allowing the camera to focus, to reposition itself on the central point of that. And now if I tumble, you'll see that I have no issue regarding any offsetting or the camera kind of moving away from the object because its focus point is elsewhere in the scene. And it's a pretty useful way of actually finding an object as well. Let me just move all the way out here, like so. And I'm going to bring up my perspective and outliner. If I just select a pen within that, trying to move my way in and find that specific pen could take a while. All I need to do is select it and just hit F within my viewport, and it will just focus me in right in on that. So in complicated scenes, it's a pretty good method to find what you're looking for. You can focus in on an object, but you can also focus in on components. So let's think about the idea again. If I was to, let's say, okay, this section of the pen here, I want to take a closer look at this area and I want to try and model it. But you can see that as I rotate, rather than staying in the center of the screen, this point is actually moving outside, and that would mean I'd have to move over, reposition the camera. Okay, again, I'd have to move, reposition it. And that can be quite frustrating, especially if you're working on detailed modeling. If I just select a couple of vertices, okay, you can see I've just left-click dragged across those. I can also hit F, and it will allow me to focus in on those points. Now, there was a slight issue there where the camera was actually cutting through the object, but having pressed F or focus on those three vertices, I can now rotate and move around and not have to continually reposition my camera. So that's focusing in on an object. Once I'm all the way in here, how do I get all the way back out quickly without having to move my camera? What I can do is hit A, and you can see there that even though I have these components selected, the camera will position itself out, so everything is now held within view, and I can rotate around the center. So it's finding everything within my scene, finding the central point, and focusing in on all of those objects. So that's moving the camera around quickly. If we had a camera position that we wanted to go back to, we can do that by using the hotkeys on our keyboard, and that's the square brackets that you'll find next to the P key. If I use the ones which is the open square brackets, that will send me back from position to position, and then if I use the square close brackets, that'll send me back to the previous one. So again, if I was working in a certain area and then realized that actually I preferred my camera position here, I wouldn't have to try and realign it. I can just use Maya's ability to record the camera motion and then go back in that manner.